Netball should have been my safe place. I would never have perceived that would be where I met my greatest threat.
That threat was James Geoffrey Griffin. He was 58. Tiffany Skeggs was 11 years old.
It was a predator in his playground. And if I was to go back now, I'd be like, Tiff, run from this. Like, you need to report this in some kind of way, but you need to run to keep yourself safe first. But as a child, you don't have that ability.
Griffin was a volunteer medic at the Northern Tasmanian Netball Association and a nurse in the paediatric ward of Launceston General Hospital. He's shown here in footage the ABC filmed for an unrelated story in 2016. The abuse started with kissing and inappropriate touching. Between the ages of 12 and 14, Griffin would pick Tiffany up on a Saturday morning to take her to netball. On the way there, he would park his car and molest her. Griffin also sexually abused Tiffany in the first aid room at the netball precinct. She says the first rape happened at his house when she was 15 years old.
It's hard to describe just how much I and so many others have been failed by our system, and the amount of red flags that were both there for people to see and raised.
In 2013, concerns were raised with Tasmania Police about Griffin inappropriately touching and grooming Tiffany. The matter was referred to the state's Child Protection Service. Both James Griffin and Tiffany denied anything inappropriate was happening, and the case was closed. But the abuse continued. Last year, an internal review by Tasmania Police found deficiencies in the way it had shared information across agencies. The agency says it's since made improvements, including information sharing between police and child and family services. After years spent thinking she was Griffin's only victim, one day in 2019, Tiffany saw Griffin surrounded by children at the netball courts.
And something in me, it just clicked. I didn't have a choice anymore. It wasn't about me wanting to come forward to tell my story. It was, I have to come forward.
Tiffany made a report to Tasmania Police. Griffin continued to work as a paediatric nurse at Launceston General Hospital for 3 months until being stood down at the end of July. Weeks later, he was charged with multiple child sex offences. A month later, he was arrested and charged with more sexual crimes and admitted to criminal offences against Tiffany. But after being granted bail, Griffin took his own life.
They, by releasing him on bail, and by they I mean our judicial system and our overarching government, robbed me of any chance or any form of justice.
In a statement, a government spokeswoman said immediate action had already been taken to address issues across government and to ensure children are safe.
My clients are pursuing their claims on the basis that the duty of care owed by the hospital to them was breached, and as a result of that breach, they've suffered significant injuries.
Kim Price is representing 10 alleged victims with abuse allegations between 2004 and 2018 who are taking action against the Tasmanian Health Service, alleging Griffin abused them while they were patients at the Launceston General Hospital.
My clients and their parents are alleging that the hospital was aware of Griffin's offending and propensity to abuse.
A spokeswoman for the Tasmanian government told 7:30 the Department of Health has reviewed its internal processes for dealing with allegations of child sexual abuse and implemented a framework to ensure that all necessary steps are made within appropriate timeframes. After Griffin's death, Civil Action and the National Redress Scheme revealed more allegations of child sexual abuse by other perpetrators within other Tasmanian government agencies. Following mounting public pressure, the state government announced Tasmania's version of a royal commission, which started last year.
We are concerned that such abuse may have been made possible by structural weaknesses in how these institutions understand and respond to child sexual abuse.
Among its tasks, the Commission of Inquiry is examining how complaints against Griffin were handled and whether there was a deliberate cover-up.
I've never wanted to share my story with anyone, but I feel that from the government's lack of response and pushback from them, I have been forced to speak out.
Last week, Tiffany watched on as questions were asked in State Parliament on her behalf.
Premier, the victim survivor who watched you yesterday said she saw you, and I quote, "show no empathy, no warmth, or even mention the victims." I beg your pardon, I'm directly quoting a victim survivor. How insulting.
We are relying on those people that show that level of disregard to implement all of the recommendations from the Commission of Inquiry.
The behaviour from government MPs prompted an apology and this revelation from the Tasmanian Premier.
I'm the first Premier in the state that has taken the steps to have a Commission of Inquiry. The reason that I've done that is that I have great empathy because I've walked in their shoes. When I was a young man, in fact, when I was 16, I was a victim of child sexual assault.
I certainly empathise with anyone who has suffered from childhood sexual abuse. It's absolutely horrific. And while I empathise and appreciate the actions that the Premier has attempted to take so far, I certainly feel there is still a lot of work to be done. And I, as a victim survivor, along with every other victim survivor out there, deserve answers to the questions that I have asked. We deserve action to be taken. We deserve to see integrity, and we deserve respect.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.